I just analyzed all of these pairs and I'm going to show you which ones I'm going to be interested for this next week and exactly what price action and I'm going to be waiting in order to take a trade in every single one of them. GBP NCD is going to be the first one. As you can see on the weekly time frame, we are bullish. If we go to the daily, we are bearish. We had this impulse to the downside and now it looks like we're having a pullback to the zone. It's our previous structure point right here. We have a psychological number and we have a support and resistance area. Last Thursday, we also see that we left this week right here that I think we're going to be feeling this next week, probably these next couple of days. And on the 4 hour, we are bullish as well. This is the zone that I'm going to be expecting a rejection and a weak fill of this. And if the 4 hour has a shift to the a shift of structure to go bearish, that could be even better. And the 1 hour is a must to shift bearish. We have all this movement to the upside, and I don't think we need a shift of structure up here, and I'm going to be waiting for an impulse and pullback on the lower time frames in order to take this as a valid rejection of this previous structure point. Next pair, it's going to be GBP USD. As you can see, these are similar pairs. I try to organize them in a way that we are looking at pairs that look similar. I look at them and whichever one looks the cleanest to me at the moment, I'm gonna take, and I advise you to do the same. GBP USD, it looks like we had all this movement on the last couple of weeks, and now it looks like we're slowing down and we could be having a pullback to this EMA, this previous structure point, and I'm gonna be interested on getting, I'm going bullish right here. However, I think this is gonna take a few more weeks. So now if we go to the daily, we are bearish. So if we want to go bullish, or if price wants to still move to the upside, I think we are on a need for a pullback. Same as here. If you see here, we had this price action upside. We see higher high, higher low, last previous structure point, and as you can see, we had a pullback in order to keep going up. So that's what I'm expecting here. We need a pullback to keep going up. And as you can see also here, we had a pullback exactly to the last previous structure point, and that's what I'm going to be waiting on this price action that you see here. Of course, we had a strong movement on only 2 week candlestick here, and the pullback took 4. So I'm expecting this pullback to take a many, actually, I'm expecting this pullback to take many candlesticks. But if you can see on the daily, we can take advantage of that, especially because we are bearish. We could be looking at some price action similar to GBP NCD, but here we have the EMA, 4 hour EMA right here, and we are already bearish. So I love this price action. Now we only need a pullback to this zone rejection. If we go to the lower time frames, we see that this already looks pretty good. It looks like an impulse pullback, and maybe this was the market is just gonna open and it's just gonna go straight down. I don't know, but in case it doesn't, I'm gonna be watching closely to these pairs to take a sell right here. And I wouldn't go like this because I told you guys last time it took a while to come down here. As you can see here, we shift bearish and we had the price action to the downside, but it took many candlesticks. So for now, if I take a good entry and I have a good risk to reward, I am gonna take profit right here where this candlestick closed. Maybe I'll try to put my stop loss right here on top of this area, but if not, depending on where I take the trade, I'm gonna maybe put the stop loss here and take it here. Who knows? Maybe I'll put it here just in case, and it still gives me a 2.6 that I think is a good risk to reward in this trade. Next one, another GBP. It's gonna be Euro GBP. If we go to the weekly time frame, we see that we had two big candlesticks to the upside, and now we are rejecting the EMA, which is funny because on we can see if we go to the left, we basically look at the same. Two big candlestick going up, rejection from the EMA, one candle, rejection from the EMA, one bearish candle, and then the next ones were also bearish candlesticks. So what happens if we go to the left again? We see the same. We see two big, or if you want to say four, or just a massive movement to the upside, and then rejection right here, a week, and then a new bearish candlestick right here, and the other one just follows along the next 2 weeks. Same as here, the next 2 weeks, and that's what I'm expecting here the next 2 weeks, or maybe not 2 weeks, but I'm just expecting this movement to at least come here where we have our previous structure point that we can take in account and look for to get another buy, like a buy zone. If you go to the daily though, we have the same last previous structure point, but it's a little bit more lower than on the week. So this one is gonna be my take profit. I'm gonna take that one a little bit more further down maybe. This is a good take profit. I'll set my alarm here if I take the trade. Well, I already do have an alarm in case we maybe are interested on some buys. However, for now, as you can see here, on the daily we are still bullish. This is the thing that I do not like about this pair. We didn't switch bearish, but as you can see here, I think we are gonna have this bearish movement, and on the 4 hour you can see the support and resistance zone. I think support, resistance, kind of resistance this week, resistance, and we are under the zone. We also have the 4 hour EMA, which looks lovely right there, and we have this last previous structure point on the 4 hour. So I love the idea of this trade. I'm expecting for this trade to go down. A this is gonna be probably my stop loss, as you can see. And I don't know, are we gonna fill these weeks, or are we gonna have the pullback just on the next candlesticks? I don't know. I'm gonna be waiting and waiting. A lot of patience, and as soon as as soon as I see a clear movement to the downside, maybe I will take a trade on the 1 hour. I don't see this as clear, but if anything, we are bearish at the moment. Maybe, I don't know, this just doesn't do it for me on the entryway, on the entry, on the 1 hour, but on the 4 hour it looks lovely. So I'm just gonna be waiting. A lot of patience on these three. These are gonna be the only ones that look basically the same because they're all GBPs, but I'm gonna be watching them closely and taking a trade in whichever one looks the most cleanest. NCD USD is gonna be our next pair. As you can see on the week, we are bearish. We had this week came all the way up here last week, and as you can see, it's the last previous structure point. So are we rejecting that point? Maybe we'll see. Or are we feeling this week, this next week? We will see. Daily, we are bullish. We are really close to the EMA, which the thing I don't like about this pair is that the last previous structure point is right here, and we are past that point already. So if we don't come up to this point right here, mm, I I'm not sure we're gonna feel this week if we don't come all the way up here and maybe have a rejection. However, I do think that, I mean, as you can see on the 4 hour, it's basically not this point, but it's a little bit below that daily last previous structure point from here to here. But I don't see it as clear neither, because we are already on that point in time or point in the chart, and I don't think price is gonna just stop. I think we're gonna come all the way down here, maybe have a better rejection of this area of this EMA. But for now, I'm just gonna be observing these pairs. I'm not gonna be trading. I'm gonna see if the week gives me like a clue of, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. This is what the price is moving like. But for now, I think this is a good setup for whatever the market will show us the next week. Nothing clear at all. Although I do like the idea of reacting this EMA, psychological number, support and resistance zone, and keep going up, and even filling this week. That's what I have on my mind when I look at this chart. I just have a little bit of doubt on this last previous structure points, and that's why I'm not taking the trade right here, or I'm just gonna be more patient. Last, not last three actually. I was just the last three pairs are gonna be JPYs. First one that I'm gonna explain is gonna be USD JPY. I've been talking about these pairs for weeks. As you can see, when we closed here on this week, I told you guys we were gonna have a pullback. Last week we had a pullback, but not the way all up here, and now we do have the pullback all the way up here to the last previous structure point. If you go to the daily though, it looks, for me, this is the lower low, lower high. I don't think this is enough of an elbow to take it as an elbow to say that we're bullish now. So for me, we're still bearish. Last previous structure point right here. Mm, we are already past that point, but however, we have a support and resistance on here, and these wicks have been rejecting that zone. It looks like we were gonna have the downside moving here, and we had these two next candles, which I don't really like. However, on the 4 hour, this looks pretty good, especially here with this, because here, as you can see, haven't switched, we haven't had a shift of structure. So higher high, higher low, then higher high, higher low, and massive movement to the downside, pullback exactly to this point, rejection, candlestick right here, and boom, we're bearish candlestick, and now we're coming back to this point. So I don't know, that's just confusing. This was on Friday too, so I wasn't gonna take a trade on Friday, but it's just curious. Lower low, um, lower high, previous structure point. We are at a previous structure point on the 1 hour, but we are on the middle of, I wouldn't say nowhere, but it's nowhere I want to buy or sell. So I'm just gonna be watching, observing. Maybe we'll have a reaction from this weekly point and keep going to the downside. That's what I'm waiting for. Actually, if you look at it, this is the last previous structure point in this area right here. So I'm probably gonna be waiting for a rejection from here, or the price. I'm just gonna see if price action comes all the way up here. Next one, GBP JPY. I talked about this one last week. We are still bearish, but we have all this week that we left last week. and daily we are bullish. I told you guys, if we went bullish, we were gonna have a pullback to this area, and now that we're having the pullback, I am looking for buys right here. Last previous structure point on the daily, EMA, support and resistance zone. So for our, that's this is the thing I don't like. A lot of these, I like most of them, because if not, they wouldn't be here. But then there's this one thing that just sets me off, and on this one is the 4 hour. As you can see, we are bearish, higher high, higher low. We switch bearish, now we're bullish, now we're bearish. I don't like the EMA all the way up here, but I do like this EMA down here. I think we're gonna feel these weeks, have a rejection from here, and then go up. I'm gonna be waiting for a rejection on the lower time frames from up from down here. Let me see the weekly again. And I think we're gonna feel this week if anything happens. But it's just a lot of things now just setting me off on all of this. But that's why I advise you guys to be patient, a lot of patience this week. And I rather miss a trade than take a wrong one. So NCDJPY, this one may look even cleanest. If we're going down, it looks really clean to go down, and it looks it looks really clean to go up, especially on the daily. But as you can see, I think we're gonna feel this week on this next week, and probably shift bullish. Daily, we are bullish. Same thing as GBP, JPY, similar price action. I actually took both of these trades on the past week. This one look a lot cleaner. But as you can see, this is the previous structure point right now. Support and resistance area, psychological number. And it looks like on the 4 hour we are we bearish? Are we? Yes, I think we're. Oh yeah, we are from here. Oh yeah, that's why I took this trade, and it looks a lot cleaner than GBP JPY. As you can see, we shift a structure on the 4 hour, then pull back again, impulse to the downside, pull back, and then right here when I saw this, that's where I enter my trade, and it went just straight to take profit. As you can see, kind of a support and resistance zone here on the 1 hour, and then then a big impulse to the downside. We are having a pullback down here, and then after price not going through this resistance zone, straight to take profit. Now, what am I expecting for this week? Last previous structure point right here, support and resistance zone right here. We'll see what happens. Maybe I'll take it from this. I'll help myself with this 4 hour EMA, but I don't like that we are bearish on this price action. I think we could come all the way up here, have a new lower low, and then come up here, use this EMA to take a buy, and probably fill this weekly wick that we left. And yeah, every single one of them I like, but every single one of them has a little thing that throws me off. So I advise a lot of patience. That's what I'm gonna be having a lot, because as I told you guys, all of these have something good and something not so good, but this is the best that I was able to get from this week. So I'm gonna keep an eye on those. I wish you good luck, and be very, very patient with this. I cannot stress that enough. Be patient, and I wish you the best. And I'll see you guys on the next video.